So hello and welcome to this series on the Nordic Aquascape. In this first episode we will look at the equipment that I will be using as well as all the hardscape, and we're actually going to scape the tank. Before we get started with that though, since this is my first ever YouTube video, I shot just brief introduction about myself and about this channel, and mainly about what you can expect on this channel and the projects that is upcoming and that is going to happen now over the couple of months. So if you want to watch that follows now, but if not, you are also free to just skip ahead until we start with the scaping of the Nordic forest tank. Otherwise, here's a brief introduction. So yeah, my name is Theodor. I'm a Swedish guy. 2 years ago, moved down here to Vienna. I've had a long-standing interest for aquariums and for fish, and really started when I was like a little kid. We weren't allowed to have fur animals at home, so then you look to the alternative, which I suppose like fish or fish keeping is one of the easier or natural ones to fall into. From a little bit of a distance, the past couple of years, I've been really watching this whole community or area of aquascaping, and it's just it really blows me away what people are able to create and build, and it sort of draws me back into the hobby. Previously I didn't really have the opportunity to do so, but now I have a complete room that is purely going to be dedicated to aquariums, and that I will use to really go after this project of learning everything about aquascaping, building a lot of tanks. Super humble for anyone who wants to join or come along on that journey, and doing all the mistakes, having the successes and the failures, and that whole thing. That's basically what this channel will be about. What I've seen in aquascaping, at least from a distance, is that there seems to be a lot of focus on plants, which is great. They're beautiful, of course, and they're complex, and there's a lot to discover in that. But there seems to be that the fish is almost secondary to aquascape. So they're sort of they play a supporting role. They're not the center of attention or the key focus. So I think that in my sort of aquascaping journey, there will be a lot of more focus on the fish themselves than what is maybe traditional, and that is something that you will see as well. I'm also very interested in getting into this community of aquascapers, pursuing competition and just getting into the whole world and getting to know people in the space and so on, to share my passion there. And for anyone who feels similar, maybe I will have a few tips down the line on that topic to just show how you can get into it, make friends, make connections, participate in events, etc. So I will try to show as much of that as possible, or as I can, on the channel. Now, we will build now over the next couple of months. We will build this aquarium studio, this room. So I will do a complete tutorial on each of the tanks, and go through basically everything from equipment to hardscaping, what is the inspiration behind the tank, and also look at the development and the maintenance of the tanks, and so on and so forth. So yeah, once again, super happy for anyone who wants to join in on this. Glad to share this passion, or let's call it adventure for now, maybe passion later. Remains to be seen. Okay, so this is the room that is going to be transformed into an aquarium dedicated room, or a home studio. Now, I did this deal with my girlfriend. We just moved into this apartment, and she gets to decide everything else in the apartment. And the trade-off is that I get this room purely dedicated for aquariums, which I think is a great deal, because she was going to decide everything else anyway. And now she just lost this room to aquariums. So I'm thinking that we can have a 120p tank up against the side or in the corner. And then I will probably put a wrapping system with nano-sized tanks next to it. And if we go over to the other side, then first in this corner,
I will keep that a secret for now. That is like my dream project is going to be in this corner. And then next to it, we can have the size for a 90p or a 100p tank. And then it's going to be the first two projects, which is these two 60p tanks. One is going to be the forest tank and the other more of a Brazilian style tank. So yeah, you can follow this journey and see how this room develops over the next couple of months, where we transform it into this home studio.
So yeah, there you have a little bit about me and about this channel and what you can expect like in the near future that is going to come up here. But back to the forest build. So I have gone with a 90-liter tank, or it's approximately 90 liters. It's from Superfish, it's called a Scape 90. So it measures 60 centimeters wide, 40 centimeters deep, and 38 centimeters high. This comes as a set, so included you'll also get an external or like a hang on the back filter. It comes with a light and a few additional products in there, such as like a liquid CO2 and some fertilizer. I browsed a lot and like searched around like the internet a lot for the perfect setup for these first two tanks. I had to take budget into consideration since I will be building so many tanks in this room. And I was able to find this tank and a cabinet that actually fitted exactly to this tank. That cabinet is from Juvel, so this is the Juvel Lido 120. Probably needless to say, since this is my first video, I don't have any partnerships or collaborations with any brands or similar. I'm just like giving you what the result was of like all my research when I tried to find budget options that could still look very high-end. So I found this tank from Superfish and I found this cabinet from Juvel. They fit perfectly together in my mind at least. And I'm very happy with the finishing of the tank as well. Like if you look how it's siliconed and yeah, just the overall quality and aesthetics of this setup, I was very happy with. What I will change from this start is the filter. So I will be going with an external canister filter from Oase. I know they are tried and tested and very reliable. And this filter is large enough. You need a bit of a larger filter or a larger turnover of the water when you go with aquascaping compared to like traditional aquariums because the bioload is like bigger and you need that stability. So I went with that filter. When it comes to the hardscape, we will mainly be working with driftwood. So I bought this big set of driftwood and we will pair that with Seriostone. So I also bought these packages of Seriostone. I thought that was also like money-wise a good option. I will also be running CO2 in these tanks. I've been able to find a good setup of the CO2 to accompany more than one tank, and I will show you more about that in a later video. So that's for the equipment part, and yeah, let's start scaping. Now, the inspiration behind, or kind of image in my head stems more from the typical Nordic or Scandinavian forests. They can almost seem a little bit grim sometimes, or the colors are really very gray and dark brown. So yeah, maybe think more of like a Norwegian style troll forest. And I wanted to create this path that's gonna lead towards the back, and that's gonna be bordered by logs that is gonna lay down, sort of leading your eye backwards. So that's the thought behind the placement of the wood and the rock here. This side I struggle a little bit with. I'm really trying to get the log positioned correctly to also allow for plants later on to be placed on top of it, so that the plants can frame the path. So yeah, I took my time here. At this stage, I start to feel like I'm getting there, or that I've gotten there. So a few final adjustments, and then I'm ready to start gluing the pieces together. I placed most of the wood pieces just straight up and relied on them to just balance. So I don't have the greatest confidence that they will all stick in place or not float. So I am gluing quite a bit. I've seen this method, of course, before, as most of you have done, to use cotton pads and super glue. So that should hold them all in place. But yeah, I have quite a bit to glue here. right, so and that's pretty much the hardscape done. I have to admit that I chickened out a little bit. I glued a lot, so I have a lot to cover up with the plants. But overall, I'm fairly happy with it. This is my first ever hardscape, and I have to say it is harder than it looks on the YouTube videos. But I have a pretty good idea of how I will place the plants, what type of plants I will use, and so on. You will see all of that in the next episode, so part 2 of this forest build. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, the free thing you can do to like support me in this project, I guess, is hit that subscribe button, press like, and hope I see you in the next episode. Until then, and wherever you are in the world, good morning, good evening, or good night.